Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dr. Serge. I hope you guys are having a good day. So, today, one article caught my eyes. Actually, one of my clients sent me this article, and it is on the long-term consequences of a keto diet. The keto diet is really popular. It's been around for actually quite some time, for more than 100 years, actually. The keto diet was first designed to help kids or adults with epilepsy, with seizures, and it works wonderful. But the keto diet is more and more popular now for weight loss, for example, or just to feel better. And we can see on the screen the title of this, the long-term consequences of the keto diet: heart disease, diabetes, cancer, new study finds. So I was really intrigued by that. So I wanted to I clicked on the link, and it brought me to the actual article published a few months ago, a ketogenic diet and chronic disease, weighing the benefits against the risk. So it's really fascinating to read this. A lot of these studies that they refer to, first of all, it is a meta-analysis, so it looks at about 100 different studies. And these studies are epidemiologicals in nature. So epidemiology does not give us causative factors. It can make some connection. For example, there was a study that was done in the 50s that showed that if you have more than one TV in your house, you have a higher risk of heart disease or heart attack. Of course, it's hard to claim that the TV that people will have in their house will be the cause of the heart disease. It may be a contributing factor if you get lazy, if you watch TV on the couch, and so on and so on. But there's many patterns that we can see that doesn't necessarily mean that there are causative connections between the two. And as I was reading through this paper, actually, it was really fascinating to me that the authors admitted that there's no connection with keto diet and cancer. There's not enough studies to show that. There's no higher risk of having cancer. But the main argument that they have is that keto diet causes heart disease, because we all know that the keto diet is mostly fat-based. It's 90% fat, maybe more. I had some patients who did 95% diet, 5% protein, and no carbs. So at the end of the day, there's different versions of the keto diet, but the whole purpose of the keto diet is to be in that keto state. When your body starts burning fat as a source of fuel, and when you do that, your body actually produces ketones. And ketones can fuel the heart, can fuel your muscle, it can fuel your brain. So this is another myth out there, that the brain needs carbs to survive. You don't really need to eat carbs. Your brain can run really efficiently on ketones. And about 20-25% of glucose that your brain needs can be made by your body. Using protein, for example, and using fat as a source of fuel. So a lot of people don't realize that fat from the body, or fat that you eat, can be converted into glucose. The body will never use protein to make glucose if there's other options before using your muscle and leading to muscle wasting, muscle weakness. This is another myth of the keto diet, that people believe that you do keto for some time, you're gonna have a muscle loss, which is not true at all, because the body will find other ways to produce the glucose and the fat for energy and to nourish your organs. So as you go through this paper, you would see that they use surrogate markers as a sign or risk of heart disease. For example, they still believe that LDL is the cause of heart disease or heart attack or clogging the arteries, that HDL is part of that, that you shouldn't eat saturated fat, you shouldn't eat animal fat. All those myths has been debunked hundreds of times for decades. We all know that there's no connection between the consumptions of animal fats and high LDL or low HDL or high triglyceride, and so on and so on. As a matter of fact, we know today that the main driver of high LDL is sugar consumption. It could be insulin insensitivity, I should say, and it could be inflammation. LDL is a potent anti-inflammatory. So when your LDL or total cholesterol is high, most likely it's a symptoms of some inflammatory pathways going on into the body. And the goal, of course, is to figure out what causes inflammation. It could be a bacterial infection, it could be a parasitic infection, it could be a candida issue, it could be toxicity. I mean, it could be so many different factors. So me, I do not see the blood markers for LDL, HDL, triglyceride, total cholesterol as really significant, because at the end of the day, they are just a symptoms of something else is going on. So when you know that LDL does not mean anything, so this argument that a keto diet is bad for your heart just vanishes. There's no reason, there's no evidence of it. I know people that have been on keto for 20, 25 plus years. I've been on a low carb diet myself for 15 years, not necessarily keto, but really close to keto, meaning that my carb is less than 5%. So I am in that keto state. I mostly do carnivore diet, so I don't eat any carbs. And my brain is fine, my heart is fine, my body's fine. Actually, I feel so sharp and energetic on a high fat diet. So it's worth a try. So I don't understand why those people claim it's bad for your heart when you really look at the population of people who do low carb diet. They don't have any more cancer, they don't have any heart disease, and any kidney problems or fatty liver. All those are myth. There's no facts behind these different statements. And at the end of the day, when you look into the science of this, it's mostly carbs and sugar that drive the fatty liver, the heart disease, the cancer, the kidney problems, diabetes, so on and so on. So when you see these articles and titles like keto is bad for you, you shouldn't do that. That's a red flag. You shouldn't believe them because there's no science behind that. When you start doing the keto diet, the clean keto diet, you start feeling better. And this is, to me, the evidence that it's safe for you and it's good for you. Another myth that a lot of people use and claim is that when you're in that keto diet, you are at higher risk of acidosis, which is a state that your blood becomes acidic. So those people become confused actually with acidosis, which is a symptoms of type 1 diabetes. When your sugar is really gets out of control, your body, as a coping mechanism, will start making ketones, and the blood gets more acidic. So this condition is really rare, and it happens in type 1 diabetes. So your body has 4 different mechanisms to maintain the pH of the blood. So your blood cannot change with the diet because the body would maintain it at about 7.4-ish. So if it goes a little bit higher, you could actually die. So people claiming that animal fats, animal protein will put you in an acidic state. Again, that's false. The body has mechanism to maintain your pH. So animal protein doesn't do that. Animal fats doesn't do that. So don't be nervous to do a high fat, clean keto diet, and you're gonna start feeling better. Actually, over time, your heart markers like triglyceride, LDL, HDL, inflammatory markers, all those will improve over time. So I have used a keto diet for years and years and years with people with cancer, people with heart problems. I had a guy with 70% blockages in his arteries, and 6 months later on the keto diet, the blockages went down to 20%. So 50% of the junk in his arteries disappear on a high fat diet. And I had people with fatty liver, people with diabetes, like I said, people with kidney problems, with weight issues on a keto diet, and they all improve their health and their blood marker. So I hope that makes sense. Don't be afraid to do a high fat diet. Actually, your body runs better with fat than glucose. Your heart runs on fat, not on sugar. Your brain runs on fat, not on sugar, for example. So thank you guys for watching, and God bless you.